Abubola, Abubola, TheKazweh, Abubola, EGP, TheKazweh, Magical, Almighty, Abububu. Today's segment is going to be on Adam and Eve. As a fellow client of mine, listener in 13th Dynasty, Moringa Tribe, Ultimate Truth Warrior X, and fellow thought professor who avidly shares and likes and thought professes the absolute true truth with no bias, dogma, religious belief, and any political propaganda and jargon, asked me what Adam and Eve was all about. Let me break this down. As people said, well, what's the synchronism of the Bible, let's say, to a Ra? As we are well aware, it is astrotheology, right? The study of the stars mixed with the theocracy. At the time, the Jewish people used a organization of spiritual ideas at that time, which helped organize a good economy for the Jewish people. This was, of course, done by the use of the Torah, which a good Jew followed. But taking you back to the very first book of the Bible, which was paleolithically very similar to the Sumerian text. We won't go into my full opinion on this. I'm just going to keep it straight and forward, precise, to the point that we have the stories very similar to the Sumerian cuneiform text. There's no doubt about it. But in getting to, well, what is the similarities of Adam and Eve, we know Adam and Eve had a different name, which is in Hebrew. It was like Havak or something like that. Regardless, Eve is symbolic of evil, or the Eve, or equal. She's represented on that, the Kundalini stick, which we're going to get into here in a minute. I'm going to share a segment with you. The Confucius, or the staff in which Hermes held, okay, the male and the female duality, okay, which is the electromagnetic, the female being the more magnetic, electro being the male, okay, or the sacred masculine versus the divine feminine. Okay, so the storyline goes like this. It's very simple. We've got some characters that were throughout history known as Saturn, or Saturnalia, also Kronos, the god of time, okay? And looking at this, a lot of the Greek or Roman gods were all meshed together. One of the gods, or three of the gods that were meshed into Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, Yahuwah, Yah, or God, was Kronos, or Saturnalia, and also Neptune, and also the god of war, Mars. His woman, per se, would have been Luna, or the goddess of the moon, which the Jews bow down to and worship. The rabbis, on the other hand, put a black cube on their head, and they strap their left arm up. This prevents blood flow to their left hand arm, which is the right side of the brain, the creative side, the feminine side. So allowing more blood flow to the left side of the brain, or the logical reasoning sense of the brain. So that's just a quick one-on-one there on Judaism. They do have the box, the black box in Mecca, that Muslims bow to, or worship and walk around and meditate to, is a black box. This is also Saturnalia. You'll see a black box everywhere, and that's what the phrase squaring the cube is symbolizing, is referring to, don't forget to adhere to Saturn, or also known as Ha-Satan, or Satan, which is meaning adversary, just like NASA in Hebrew means deception or deceiver. Satan meaning adversary. Evil, okay? Backwards is live, okay? To take freedom. That's why I really recommend, this ties in with watching my 9-part series, Go Green Light to Infinite Freedom, End of All Evil, which I have a link to the last segment below, which pretty much concludes the whole series in a 1-hour segment. So that's that efficacy, okay? The efficacy of now is in reference to how men and women have been systematically controlled in a box for this era in America. So I'll get into how that happened with the Romans and Caesar and the invention of Jesus later, but now I'm going to focus on how Eve is the one who tricked Adam, which is symbolic of all men that we're going to be in this future system structure. A good Christian man is like Adam, the first Adam, the second Adam being Jesus Christ, and I'll explain this too. The ideology is quite perverse and tricky. It's an enigma riddle that once you research the Gnostic view, which is the original Bible, you'll see that this was never intended to be taken literal. There's a lot of reasoning behind why that is and how that is. So, in the aspect of Adam, we heard of, and many have when they research deeper, the hidden one, Lilith. Lilith is symbolic, just like Ishtar and many divine feminine forces of the creator, Black Sun, Lucy or Lucifer. There is Sophia, and many more actually. But regardless, we're not heard about her. In fact, when we hear her name brought up, it's considered evil. We've heard, though, in the Septuagint Bible, which was the original or the farthest back Bible, or Torah, that has been heard of, the Greek Septuagint. So, regardless, you're not heard about her, and when you are, it's referred to as evil, just like the Babylonian Ishtar, this following a goddess of fertility and this and that, which I find ironic because it is symbolic or anthropomorphizing the Black Sun, Sophia, Mother Earth, Gaia. That's why it's fertility, because she created everything, the matrix, the mater that we are in currently, the black spinning hole, essence of life. And I'm going to explain that too, how the 4 elements are created: earth, wind, water, fire, gamma, air, upsilon, ideum, human, and how the very first element ever was actually plasma, was the very first light, or the morning star. I will get into that at the end, but I'm going to get into this. This is so important to understand. So I want you to grasp the idea that, let's say this story was not literal, but a format for all good Christians, or all good Jews at the time, to be like a system. The Mother Mary, Jesus, Mary Magdalene story would be for the future for Christians, their format for how a good Christian should follow. Because in these books, which I call slave manuals, but regardless, these religious holy books often wish to depict a allegorical or a view motif, a visualization of how people are to be. Oh, we can follow Moses because he acted this way, or Jacob because of that, David and overcoming the Goliath. These stories can help by putting pieces of knowledge or wisdom before us to consume and utilize in our own day-to-day life, which I agree there is a great deal of wisdom in the entirety of the Bible. However, I will get into the dangers of the control that the Bible creates through condemnation, judgment, fear, and guilt, and shame, and many others. Now, Yahweh is an interesting character. Let's just jump right into it. Eve, displacing herself in the Garden of Eden, Mount MERU, okay, the center of all creation, and was tempted by a serpent. Keep in mind, a serpent has always been referred to as wisdom, the ebb and flow of life, that kundalini experience between male and female. There's many aspects of what the actual Adam and Eve story is about, but I will leave another version of or perspective of that in the link description below. However, I'm going to let you know what I know for a fact these symbolisms actually mean. Okay, so the apple being the fruit, the tree of knowledge, good and evil, okay? The serpent fools her, okay? Let's go deeper. What's really going on here? In a literal sense, okay? So she is being fooled by this serpent, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you that she's lying to Adam already. Let's say this. There's a royal elite around the corner. He has power. The creator of this Bible is Satan, or Yahweh, and he's the author of confusion and lies. Fools Eve into telling a lie to Adam. Adam's first love was Lilith. He loved Lilith. But Luna, or Eve, is very crafty. She's an illusionist artist. She knows how to fool by using a physical thing to attract and lure Adam in with the apple. And then once he eats the apple, nothing explodes, nothing happens other than the belief that they, in the story, you gotta remember this is written by man, that he and Eve, Adam and Eve, are told that they must leave the garden because they just broke his only command, right? No, what's really going on here is Yahweh is Saturnalia, okay? And he's the power control freak, worship me God. That's enslavement. This is the same character throughout history, Saturn. That's the secret mystery of this whole thing. Why do I know that? Because he's the royal elite, because the royal elite controls Saturn, or Satan. And that scares people, so they're scared and fear of this Saturn, or Yahweh, Jehovah. They fear him, so they obey him, and they don't know why. Because the book tells them to, okay? The thing is that Adam is being cheated on. Okay, this is actually depicted in all women today. Okay, in the sense that women listen to their man, go to church, are a good Christian, but the truth is they are wanting their man, their two, to be a worker slave. Why? For money. Because Mother Marie or Luna or the moon goddess or Eve, evil, she's evil. She's sneaky. Okay? Not just because she fooled Adam to the apple. It's way deeper than that. She's wanting him to go to work. So they get kicked out of the garden. The Garden of Eden is symbolic of Aurora Borealis, all the green, the bioplasm in the world. Okay, all that green is the garden. The Garden of Eden, we never left. It's right in front of us. But what we've done is we've overpowered, by following Saturnalia, built all these streets and these buildings. So we went to work. Why? Because we believed we had to work at the sweat of our brow. For what? For our family, for our wife, for Eve and Cain and Abel, right? And I can go deeper into the whole Bible, all breakdown of the allegory, the riddle, the enigma, okay? This, I'm just going to break down this one part, okay? Genesis, Adam and Eve. I'm not even going to quote any scriptures. I'm just going to go into what the story is. Okay, so imagine this. Eve is over here, and she is cheating on Adam as he is working, right? As many men out there work. That's the same thing as paying your taxes and going to work and slaving. The woman is fixated on money. As we know, women love money. They will spread their legs for it. They will do what they have to do to get it. And if they can get a man to go to work, get herself knocked up and pregnant by that man, lure him in, and bait him in. If it's not love, which in many cases sexual experience is a chain reaction, a spark that happens when a man and a woman see each other and say, oh my God, she's drop dead gorgeous. And they quote unquote fall in love at the first sight, but 10 years, 20 years, 40 years later, they get a divorce. Did they fall out of love? No, that moment was a moment that's triggered in our brain for reproduction. We are reproductive animals, Okay, so this is the logic behind it. But see, Eve, in a sense, is like a moon. She's the money. Okay, this is symbolic. You have a symbolic orgy going on. Saturnalia he's got sexual affairs with many wives. In fact, in the Septuagint, Yahweh has many wives. Okay, you can look that up if you don't believe me. Saturnalia is kind of tricked by Luna. Check this out. This is how she tricks him. Because Saturnalia likes power, he figures out that Luna, or Eve, has fooled Adam, into eating an apple, and then feeling guilt, and fear of the wrath of God because they ate an apple. That's the stupidest thing ever. That did not happen. It's not literal. They left, and then she pussy whooped him. That's what it is. She said, "Oh, we're naked. We got to put clothes on." You know how women do. They start to tell you what to do, like this is going to happen, and you go along with it. That's what's really going on here in reality. Because see, they don't really believe in the Bible and all this. The Bible or the church was created for women. Why? Well, to follow God from it. Get a contract. Get married. Get a ring. All the women get all that. They don't have to work in most cases. But see, this is where Saturn even tricked womankind. Because for a while that worked. For thousands of years, man worked and woman got to stay home and, cook, clean, and aid to the baby, take care of it. Okay, that's one aspect of it. And then now Saturn's fooled woman. Now she's got to work too. Usually both companions are working. Not always. But if you're a slave in the Masonic system, usually you're financially free and the man and the woman doesn't have to work. But see, what's going on here is Eve is sleeping, cheating on Adam with Saturn, in the sense that she is money. Why would she do that? Because she doesn't love Adam. She's using him as a dumb fool, a useful idiot. Go to work, sweat and slave, and bring back the money. Okay, this is the aspect in modern day. That's what I'm saying. They didn't go to work and get a job and employment and occupation. Okay. No, the story back then is they worked and plowed the fields and harvest the produce and even sacrificed that or gave that up as an offering to God, Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, Saturnalia. Okay, so the lesson is give all your earnings or your tithes, your first fruits and produce abundance back to Saturn or Yahweh. Okay, but the fooling part is, well, she's got him working to build Saturn's empire or world, which that's what's happened. We built America on the backbone of the church and religion and in Christianity. People were compliant slaves in this aspect because of this story. This is just one portion of this reality matrix that they've created. It's a curse or a hex. It's why the hexagram is the Jewish hexagram or the Star of David. Okay, the two Ra, the two Ras. The Taurus, that's the age they were in. The two bulls, okay? And you'll understand that later. El Saturnalia is the bull. That's how I know that that's the god they're worshiping, but you don't know that. Satanists wrote your book. This is how they control you. You really believe this story is literal. However, you can read in between it. Knights Templars, Jesuits, they know the real meaning of the story like I'm telling you now. Saturnalia is the royal elites, the empire, the controller, government, whatever you want to say, that's the symbolism of it, okay? That's what got you enslaved, because you want to impress your wife, your woman, you want to get her things she needs, you want to get the children things. That's the expectation of Adam, man, okay? And that's just how it is. You don't ask about it, okay? You should work or you're lazy, good for nothing, okay? If you don't, you don't get one man to have a child and embrace and carry on your legacy, okay? The thing about it is Adam was supposed to go back to Lilith, the black sun. That is Mother Earth. That was his first love. Oh, but Saturn commanded him not to, or made him a new wife, right? Which was Luna. She's not a real woman. She's a fake you-know-what, okay? She's as fake as they come. They were not in love. She's using him. And the thing where Luna's so smart that it's got Saturnalia tied up, because Saturn's got many wives, many women, right? And where she's got the most control is she's fooled man. look at it like she represents every woman on earth or in America, and then Adam is every good Christian and man on earth, okay? In this religious aspect of what you're intended to do and your expectations, okay? So we have all these Christian women in the church, visualize them as Eve, and they're supposed to be a good woman, wife, whatever, but really they're balking at, they're eyeing the wealthy man, the government, the judges, the lawyers, the doctors, the people who've got wealth. She's eyeing them because she likes money. Mother Marie is money, or the eye, the one eye. You trade the one eye for money. Okay, you don't need money. You absolutely do not. That's the fooling trick of this story. That, oh, money's an okay thing. But it even says in this very book, you cannot serve two masters, for you will love the one and hate the other. The irony of that is that the god Vermit, or Yahweh, Saturnalia, Saturn, okay, the evil one, the author of confusion and lies, who made this story, and it is confusing and lies, is symbolic of your government, the welfare of money and obtaining wealth. And then to even tithe back to him, the church, is so ironically, you are a slave. 10% and you'll be blessed. Because the system is set up through that god Vermit, Saturnalia, Satan, through whether it's the Vatican, the Church of Catholicism, or Christianity, and the preacher is tied in with your occupation, and you all of a sudden get a pat on the back, or you'll get a promotion the more you tithe. So it makes you think you're being blessed by God. How could God bless you with money? The truth is, God is Lilith, the creator, the black sun, Mother Earth, Gaia. Okay? She doesn't require anything. She is freedom. Set aside from slavery, you go back to Earth, or live off the land, you go back to Mother Earth, Gaia, the black sun, Sophia. You go back to Lilith, which they don't even mention in the Bible. They do not like to even talk about Lilith. They've kept her out of the New Bible, just etched her out of it entirely in the King James Version on up. They just said, nobody even cares, we're not going to do it. This is why so many Christians refuse to ground, meditate, barefoot outside, and gaze at the sun. The sun is the next Bible book, which is the sun book, or Jesus, or Ra, the sun above, Hermes, Thoth, Mithras, okay, these sun gods. I hope you're following this, because it makes perfect sense. So you got Eve, and she don't really care about this good-for-nothing loser of a man, because he left his first love. Lilith is over here trying to get Adam back. Eve is jealous of Lilith because she is real. She was the first. She's the original. Okay? Now, keep this in mind. It's all anthropomorphic. Lilith is the black sun, the creator, maker of all this, who's the hidden one. This is why they've hidden her from the whole story, the book. It's a real dielectric acceleration, what you call the dumbed down version, gravity, in the center of the earth, Mount Meru, the North Pole, okay? Eve is the moon, Luna, okay? She's also Venus, okay? Because those are the gods they wrapped up into her. Like I said, Yahweh, Saturnalia, Jehovah, Jireh, whatever, Yahuwah, Yah. He is the anthropomorphic version of Saturn, which is these are both parasitic entities. They're conmen. They're like Bonnie and Clyde, okay? Luna and Saturn. It's the beast in the wild, and it's the woman controlling the beast. If you've ever seen that depiction of the woman taming the lion, that is really what's going on. That's called the demiurge, or Elohim. And what's ironic about that, Elohim, is that only means in one variation of Hebrew, no matter what. Christians cannot change Hebrew. That Torah, the original writing of Elohim, is the many, or the many gods, plural, he, she, gods, okay? Elohim means us. We are gods. Just like the word Anunnaki, which many people talk about. But that's another bastardization for another time. I could go into that too. But it has also been bastardized from the original cuneiform text. So Elohim is Saturnalia, the serpent, or dragon, the dragon with the lion's head. It's deceptive because it looks good on the outside. It's a leader, but it's ready to chop your head off. It's a dragon. Together, that's actually Jesus and Yahweh, okay? But where Luna comes in, the moon goddess Eve, she is the evil, you know what, that is so evil and heartless. She has no heart. She is a soulless being, fooling this man into slavery and convinced him that this God is mad at them for eating an apple, which is just sinning, which, no, there is no sin, there is no guilt, there is no shame. But she's fooled him into church and to this belief system at which this man believes. And so he leaves his first love. He loves it in the garden. This is what happens to so many of us. I was out in the garden, I'm in the jungle, and then a woman I fall in love with or supposedly like, fools me through trickery, misguides me into the church, and then the Bible, and says, this is real, this is a true story. You need this book in order to find this enlightenment. Otherwise, you'll never find it. You'll be lost without these writings that 450 plus men wrote. Moses wrote 5 books in 40 days. Okay, we're supposed to believe these unbelievable things, but we don't have these unbelievable magical powers anymore. There's so many errors in the Bible. It is unfathomable. Okay, 10,000 plus. I can go through 107 in 45 minutes. Okay, and people will argue with me. I'm not here to argue. I'm telling you the irony, the why you are enslaved, and you justify and rationalize it by means of your first book of the Bible, Adam and Eve, and stories like this. I can break them all down. Okay, so Saturn, imagine that wealthy man, and you can see your wife's eyeing him, so you start to up your game, and you start to say, oh shoot, I better go get a good job. And then she seems like she's all right with it. She winks at Saturn and says, we got another fool, got him pegged. And what is he doing that's so important? What's the point of all this? Adam is the useful idiot, the number 2 worker, the good square worker, the 2, the straight line, that is building Saturn's or Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh's kingdom. When they talk about the kingdom of heaven, it's for the Satanists that made the book. The elite use this story for getting men to comply and be good sheeple slave, to go to work for making your woman happy, your children, education, and keep the system rolling, barely make ends meet. But in the end, what's the beauty for Saturn is he gets his kingdom built because he has power. That's what he symbolizes. He's also the god of war because he's got Mars, the god of war, in him. They wrap that in there too. Okay, that's where they got all this. It's the same. It's stars. You're worshiping star gods. Okay? When you understand the characteristics and do the synchronism, you'll see where the character of this Yahweh come from. It's the adversary. Why? Because he's telling you to live in fear and guilt, and then you say he's an all-loving God. He was notorious for war and enslavement, telling him what to do, and I will bless you if you follow me. That is Saturn. There's thousands of names for this god, and for Luna, Eve. They're meshed together. They work together. Okay? You're Adam. Okay? And if you're a woman, you should be like Lilith, meaning go back to the land, live off the land, ground, be at peace. You will be blessed by the plantation and abundance of your fruits and your seeds you sow. Do you not catch this? This is all really sad and sorry that they did that. But now I figured it out, and I'm getting this message out and across to the people. Eve is evil, not because she tricked Adam into the apple or anything such as that. And the most craziest thing is the snake, the serpent, is symbolic of Lucifer or Lucy, which is Lilith. And keep in mind, that's the morning star, which is also symbolic of Jesus. Jesus was called the morning star because Lucifer and Jesus are interchangeable characters. There's just different time frames. Okay? They are all the black sun and the sun. Okay? So we have these other 2 characters which are deceptive and created by man. the 12, the 33rd degree, the Vatican, the Masonic madmen, the Zionist Jews, the Khazarians. They all worship Saturn at night, the darkness, the evil, the enslavement god that wants to create authority, laws. Why do you think the Torah means law? And law means lies. Authority is culture. They use culture to control. How do they control? With religious people who want to be spiritually pure. They use religion, rely. They rely on a lie. Be lie. A lie. Belief. Be lie. Okay? Anything that you have to believe in or have faith in that you can't see is not true. Okay? You gotta know it. To know means to see, allow, feel, experience, and know it. You can never forget and recognize that if God existed, He would come in His form of any sign or wonder audibly. You can create things in your head, that's one thing, but it would be undeniable. I have seen the black sun. It is real. She is Mother Nature. The closer you get back to the Garden of Eden, which is Mother Nature, the more you don't need Saturn's system, money. You don't need to trade your one eye out. People who are after money, they don't have their third eye, spiritual gland activated. And what do they tell you when you activate your third eye chakra and all that stuff? They say it's evil. So everything that is good and pure is evil. That's their lie. And everything they do, which is actually evil, is good. Is this all making sense? Because look at the actions. Christians have killed hundreds of millions of native Indians in the name of Jesus, enslaved for 400 plus years, more black folks and friends of mine, that my ancestors, than any name all combined. In fact, it's safe to say, if the name of Jesus never existed, they could never have came over to the Western world, America, and got people to enslave these people in the name of Jesus in the church, proclaim Jesus is the Word of God, and that Jesus said to be a happy servant slave, and said to give to Caesar what is Caesar's. And I have on my playlist Caesar's Invention of Jesus Christ. You all need to watch that, and The God That Was Not There. Both documentaries available on my playlist in immaculate information. Okay, just truly remarkable. And that ties me into the immaculate conception of Mother Marie. Mother Marie is also symbolic of Luna, the moon. Marie, the moon. Mother Marie. Okay, they're trying to say mother like Mother Earth. They're trying to take the identity of the black sun. That's what all this is about. To hide the identity of the divine feminine black sun creator in the inner earth. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, Mother Mary, Luna, Eve, none of these people are real. They do not exist. Okay, they are symbolic of the moon and the Saturn, okay, which are both parasitic star energies. Yes, you can research the science behind the moon. It has a box frequency, which is parasitic, or it takes away from your energy. It's a parasitic energy stealing entity, okay? Nothing miraculous about it. You can't land on it. It's a holographic reflection, okay? And it comes from the ether. There's nothing crazy about this. And from that ether, it reflects down to Saturn and many other stars. Okay, this all emits from the light of the sun. The sun, I will have you understand, is what is reflecting all that. And it comes from the black sun, which is in the inner earth, in the North Pole. It goes into this Agartha, which is this waterfall hole. It's a porthole that goes down into the center, Mount MERU, where that has been taken off the map. It was in maps in the 1600s. It's been taken out in the North Pole. Hitler knew about it. Okay, there's 4 continents that make up this water hole that shoot out, and there's a whirlwind, like a whirlwind. Okay, water whirlpool. Okay, that effect is actually what created the ether or air, because it's cycling down and it's causing that inertia, the counter inertia pulls up and it vacuums in, and that creates air. Air is what creates the dielectric acceleration of this whirlpool, and this all is how creation happened, by the way. The black hole is literally what sucked that in, the water, and continents were formed, or the land, gamma, was created, formed out of the dust of man, of earth, was man. And then, again, the black sun emitted an energy, which was bioplasma. The first energy was actually plasma. This green or energy from aurora borealis came from the purple energy or plasma. Okay, it all created itself simultaneously. Did one come before the other, like they say? Did the chicken hatch the egg, or did the egg come before the chicken? Okay, the reality is neither. They both came at the same time, simultaneously, anonymously, as one. Okay, just like how the black sun is. It's both a male and female. It's a divine masculine and feminine, sacred masculine and divine feminine. It's both entities. It's homogeneous. So it's both male, female, God, okay, the creator, which formed the sacred masculine sun above, the divine sun, which brings in the conscious energy into this reality. The subconscious inside that hole goes down into the inner earth, and then it cycles back up the dome, and water is atop of that. And this was recycling as water comes above the top of the dome, which is like the Great Rift. And it pours in the rain, which fills back into this bowl called Earth, this planet. And the water goes into the hole like a toilet, and it goes back up and cycles up again. The whole thing looks like a giant eye. In the center, it's like a pupil, a black hole, a black dot. There's a black sun, that's the subconscious energy in the inner earth, which we all will return to. Okay, so that's why these stories in the Bible, they actually correlate so perfectly with what I'm saying, which is absolute truth. That's why the swastika is always symbolized truth, because that swastika is the whirlpool I told you about, because there's 4 actual outer channels that cycle in a going out, pointing outward, like maze. It's like, it looks like a swastika, because the water goes out, goes to the right, goes to the right, goes to the right. Just like the swastika, imagine 4 things of water coming out that way, okay? And there's actually a set of stars in the sky that reflect that very shape. It's the swastika in the skies. Okay, and it moves just right along with it. The North Star is directly above that black hole, that porthole. And if you notice, if you put common sense together, none of the stars ever move. Throughout thousands and thousands upon thousands of years, the stars keep their stationary position. They do not move. The Little Dipper is always the Little Dipper. Okay? Milky Way, all that. You can't explore outer space. Those are reflection lights. If you look up Nikon 900 zooms into the stars or Saturn or any of this stuff, they zoom in and it's just a flashing, glittering light. It's not a solid body you can land on. Go look that up. And these people zoomed in really damn close, okay? The moon too, it looks very convincing, and Luna, all she does is a parasitic energy, the moon that is trying to take your energy, distract you from what you're supposed to be doing, which is grounding and being out with Mother Nature. Everything that you need to worry about is here, okay? Not out in outer space, not with the aliens, not UFOs. All that jargon is man-made 12 or 33rd degree. The Gaia, Wilcox, all these channels, Alex Jones, Ike, and reptilians. Until you see it, you do not know it. And none of you, not a single person, can say they've absolutely seen in person a reptilian. You don't think they manipulate these video clips on purpose because they know shill government agent conspiracy theorists get on there and make themselves look stupid by saying, oh yeah, we saw a reptilian, or look at these aliens. We are not visited by them, so it does not matter. It's about as crazy as angels or demons. You have the ability through your subconscious to create whatever reality you want and intend. If you allow it, feel it, you visualize it, see it, and then know it, you will bring that in. Never forget, remember it, and then let it go. So these people who believe the idea of angels and demons and God, Jesus, these things in the sky that don't exist, okay, they can make it happen. Especially as the black sun comes closer to us, we begin to bring these things into our own reality. It's an individual experience. Okay, nobody else's spiritual experience matters but yours. What you perceive becomes your reality. It's so much deeper than just saying some crazy spiritual stuff like that. I mean it. Okay, there's maybe people manifesting Jesus and actually seeing him because they really want to believe in him and know he's real, and they bring his essence because they're looking for it, and they bring it into existence. But you can look at the sun and get healing, gaze at it for hours and have no inflammation, no back problems, no depression, no anxiety, especially if you're grounded to the earth, which is the black sun. We weren't supposed to have shoes, driving cars, being in buildings. This is the curse of Saturnalia, Saturn, how Satan is the adversary, the author of all lies and confusion. Hence why many Christians are sick. They have divorce. Okay? There's tragic things that happen to them. They're not all blessed and almighty. They could be if they let go of this enslavement, let go of all the fear and guilt. There is no sin. Eve is really confusing you. Is it tricked you? That whole book has tricked you. Okay? I was stuck in it for 20 plus years. I believed in it. I taught it. I now see, after researching other beliefs, synchronism, and seeing where these things came from, I finally realized the truth. Okay? Just like with Mother Mary. Okay? She did the same thing. What the truth is with her is she may have, it works two different ways. She was either actually a slut, meaning she cheated on her husband Joseph for money, and then convinced everybody that she had an immaculate birth and that Jesus was the Son of God. Keep in mind that I'm talking in a theoretical, allegorical, non-literal view. Okay, the story is being used to do something. Okay, because the government and Vatican wouldn't promote such a story unless they didn't have an agenda behind it. Okay, the only way you're going to get this story is from this Bible. The story is not archaeologically talked about or shown anywhere in history but the Bible. You won't hear about Jesus anywhere but the Bible, unless they have altered and manipulated it somewhere else. Okay? That's just the reality. You don't see Jesus. He doesn't come to you. He doesn't speak to you. Okay? There's a reason. He's not real. Okay? So in that aspect, let's go deeper. Mother Mary, let's say she cheated on Joseph. Joseph was the slave carpenter. Just like all the other 12 disciples. See, they're promoting. See, Jesus had disciples. They all were workers. They all went to work for Saturn. Good, the royal elite. Keep it working. Keep building the empire. Because see, if this wasn't true, their empire, their satanic empire would never have been built. Because we built it. We were fooled somehow. How did we get fooled? Okay, this story right here. Mother Mary. Immaculate Conception, right? That's the main base hook right there. They got you. Oh, wow. How'd she have a kid with... Oh, an angel came to her. Jesus was born. Okay, I got it. No. Okay? And then Joseph's supposed to believe that as the sucker he is. And how many other Christian women are doing the same thing? Cheat on their husband. I'm sorry I did that. We need to ask for forgiveness. And see, it's the only time you'll see it is in Christianity where that's okay. You know, no big deal. We're recovering from it. We'll fix our marriage, whatever. And I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but in the first place, you shouldn't have a contract marriage. If you have a companion, you love them, do what you want. It's none of anybody else's business what you do. Or if you have 3 wives, 10 wives, or, you know, 3 girlfriends or 2 girlfriends, or however you want to do it, it's on you. There is no law. There is no condemnation or judgment. And I'm very confident I know what I'm talking about. You think I wasn't scared that I didn't want to go to heaven? Of course I wanted to go to heaven. I'm already there. I know what heaven really is. It's in the inner earth. We're all going to get there and we're all going to the other side. Unless you are turning yourself off and become a soulless being for money. That's what they created Luna and Saturn for. Man did. Man did that to trick man into going to work. enslaving. Like Joseph, who's a carpenter, taught his son how to be a carpenter. Okay, so Jesus, right, he grew up, and that was his mother. His mother is the moon. And Father Joseph is one part with Saturn. It's the same ideology. But this time, Jesus is symbolic of the sun, right? That's why he defies his father, because he brings in peace and forgiveness, and that you can go to him and have everlasting life, which that's the sun. If you see the sun, believe in it, you will have everlasting life. We have all had produce, we have crops, we have wine that is fermented from the sun's energy, we have wheat to make bread. This is all due to the sun. The sun walks on the water every morning. It's the same thing. It heals people. When you gaze at the sun, it'll heal you. Okay? And the powers of the sun are magical. We are made up of this light energy from it. This is a fake matrix reality. As soon as you turn that sun off, all this disappears. Because the reality is, there is nothing out here. We are in a blank matrix, like a whiteboard. We're walking on this board because we are light. And everything else comes to existence due to these light particle molecules. Okay? It comes from the sun. Yes, this is not a real world. Okay? The black sun manifested this, and that's you. You are the black sun. You need to go back to your first love, which is you. Okay? That's Lilith, Sophia, the black sun. We're all going back to that source. It channels all the way from the sun above, all the way to this tunnel, this light in the tunnel. And at the end is not the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the opposite. It's a black sun or a black hole at the end of the tunnel, which you'll look in the mirror and realize that that is the black sun, which is you, and then realize you have been God all this time, and every single one of us is that God that we are going to. We are going to transmute back to gold, back to the plasma, and back to ourselves. Why then would God, the creator, black sun, do all this? Because you, wanted to go through suffering and pain to refine your own identity, which everything, when you're in a world of heaven, Shambhala, Nirvana, like that she is, or we are, in a sleep, a subconscious sleep, everything's perfect, everything is blissful. So to create a world like this is to create a dumping ground for all the things you hate about yourself, or insecurities and fear and issues that you have to deal with day in and day out. It's like a reoccurring nightmare. Okay? This all does make perfect sense to you, because innately it is what your heart is activated to understand. And I'm helping you wake up and activate your heart again so that you can go back to the source, the infinite source of freedom, which is the black sun. And once you figure this out, you will be so blessed. You will be so favored. You will really be free. You'll know the truth, and it will set you free. All these little cliches and quotes of the Bible, these Psalms, they all came from Thoth anyway. Hermes, the Book of the Dead, Emerald Tablets, Sumerian texts. Okay, all of it. It's because it's the repeat of the greatest story ever told. The only story that matters. They are anthropomorphizing the real things that are in this matrix that we created. As the black sun created the sun above, which gives healing, walks on water, it does miracles. The black sun, which is supposed to be Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, Saturnalia. But Saturn has taken the identity of the black sun. Luna has taken the identity as the feminine and the masculine. Saturn is depicted as time, Kronos, god of time. Okay, that's why you gotta go to work. You gotta be on time. That's Saturn or Kronos. And he's powerful. How does he have power? He only has power when he works with who? Bonnie, or Luna, Marie, Mother Mary, the moon goddess. Okay? When he works with the moon goddess, she has man bewildered by her beauty, perhaps, or something else that, ulterior motives may inquire. The man wants the woman to procreate and be with, and a companion, perhaps. But this woman loves money, lusts after it. She's greedy. That's all she desires. So she uses this man, which is you, the worker, the slave, to go to work, to slave for these things. And then they admire and they congratulate. They say you're patriotic. They say you're hardworking. They say you're loyal, you're dedicated. Man. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working hard or doing things, working out in the yard, but we are supposed to do what we desire, what we want. If it's art, if it's music, if it's playing, if actually we're really only supposed to sow, harvest, and receive. We're supposed to sow the seed. Trees can only grow start from a seed. From that, we're blessed by the black sun with the produce, which we handled, we created, we put together. Okay? That keeps you thriving and enriched and alive. All these other jobs are lies. You go to work, you work all day, you slave, you sweat, you bleed for your job to get money, you end up sick. I don't know how many people I know are sick and dying in the hospitals because they don't understand this concept. We're supposed to go back to earth. Nature will heal you. Mother Earth, Gaia, the black sun, whatever you want to call it, the nameless one I prefer, that infinite source that will provide everything in its perfect matrix system. And in fact, there's no two ways about that. You can't ignore her perfect system. To ignore her perfect system means you want Luna, you want the money, Marie, you want to spread your legs, open up, and get the gold popping out the butt. And then Saturn gives you the job, gives you the employment. When you prove yourself to Saturn, then you get higher up on the job so that you can impress Luna even more. So if he tells you to kill, human sacrifice, human traffic, child traffic, have sex with this person, overlook that crime, this evil, you begin to compromise your own values, morals, and ethics for the higher standing of a position and a job, occupation in your own enslavement. Do you need that? Are you willing to work that hard and sell your soul, turn yourself off to be soulless, an artificial intelligence, and not deal with your shadow reflections? Most of these people never work on themselves or deal with their shadow reflections. This is a dumping ground for suffering and pain, after all. That's all you're supposed to go through to develop your true spiritual character, to override this matrix and realize your true human value and worth is not just a word called human. We are gods. There's nothing like us on this earth. There are no other beings or aliens or special things or angels or demons. You are so special. Quit taking your worth and your actual reality, who you are, your soul, and reflecting it on something else that does not exist. An illusion. Money is an illusion. Time is a man-made construct illusion. These things are cages. These buildings in cages away from Mother Earth. These roads, the concrete, all this building stuff is all developed to enslave you in your own matrix, your self-induced, mindless self-indulgence. I hope you enjoy this part, and I may consider doing other parts on portions of the Bible, because even with Jesus and Mary Magdalene, for instance, in which I'm going to post below the link to that Adam and Eve symbolism, please watch it, check it out if you're really interested in this topic, because it's really good. Spot on. We'll say that Mary Magdalene is also symbolic of the black sun. Jesus wanted to be with Mary Magdalene. What happened is Mother Marie is said, no, you can't. You got to be the Messiah. You got to do this. That's like when an overbearing mother wants her son or daughter to be something, to be a lawyer, to go into seminar, to do what the mom and dad want. Honor your parents by any extent, as long as you make them happy. It's holy, it's righteous, right? So Jesus really wanted to be with Mary Magdalene, but the real side story is he couldn't because he's not supposed to, right? Because they never say Jesus was hooked up with a woman or had a family and kids. He didn't exist, but say he did, then that's the reality of that, okay? So I'll just say, that until you understand and start putting these things together, will you readily read through the symbolisms of the Bible. Most of the people are disillusioned by the essence of the Bible in general. So what I mean by that is they are never going to question the Bible because of a fear of going to hell or denying the Holy Spirit, which, by the way, the Holy Spirit is the black sun. So that's why they've stolen all this, put it over here in religion in a box. So they put all that real stuff that's out here that you can touch, feel, see, and experience. They've taken all that. They have allegorically anthropomorphized it into a story that did not happen. But it so rarely relates to you because it ties in with your very DNA, your very plasma, your very blood, your very DNA. You are a fingerprint of Mother Earth, nature. And what they can always do is say, see, God is a masterful, intelligent designer, creator. Well, the black sun created everything. And it evolved over time. Like I was saying, is you have the black spinning hole that goes down, that goes to the electromagnetic energy in the inner earth, that subconscious that brings it up into existence, creating the air because of the whirlwind in Mount Meru, which is a real place I have video footage of. I'm probably the only person that has the rare video footage of Agartha, and I have many other evidences of it from ancient stories in Latin and esoteric knowledge. But even set aside from that, this is where esoteric knowledge matters. It means something because it does affect you. It affects me. It especially affects someone who believes in the Bible or religion or belief systems. It is crucial to understand. It is necessary to get this while you can. Before, it takes your whole life away. It took 20 years of my life. Okay? I really believed in this stuff. I really, really believed in it. And it was dangerous. It was dangerous for me to not understand that what was going on was wasting my life. Okay? And my life is precious. But I was supposed to have this happen to me, just like it was probably supposed to happen to you, because you create your reality. So you were supposed to go through this. Maybe I made myself go through this to overcome it, and now I can help you. See, that's how the black sun and you actually work, is to develop your character so you know in the next matrix reality that, man, this is what I had to go through, and wow, that really sucked. We're all going to end up being on the same page one way or another. So even if you think I'm crazy, you think I'm incorrect, or I'm completely heretic and wrong, it won't matter, because at the end of the race, at the end of the day, when we go and die, we're completed this matrix, this game. When we're done, we are all going to the other side, and by that point we will become one singularity in solidarity as one with each other who make it there, and we will all know this truth. I have been blessed with this knowledge, and here I'm speaking about it, and how many people will really even consider or take me serious enough? But now I've put it out there, and I know that that's going to cause a great effect, a tidal wave that's about to occur because of me. I am creating the Great Reset. This happens every so often, and it all starts back over, and this matrix demiurge will create more people, and it will be a surge perhaps, or unless this is the last Great Reset, then this is the end of the road. 12/21/2019. It's over. Then it's over. So then at that point, it won't matter. But at least I did try. That's my whole purpose and mission. Because if you know the truth, you gotta speak it. That's the whole purpose. You have the freedom to speak it, especially, then speak it. Get it out there. And I really hope and pray that you decide to get on the right path. Your life can be so much more meaningful, so much more impacting. You can live heaven now. Don't just wait till you die and then get to heaven. You're not going to see Jesus and all this stuff. And I know that. I absolutely know that because of the stories and what's been told, and I know what they're talking about. They're talking about the black sun and the sun above. That is all they're talking about. I know this. I promise you that. In all my years of research, it is undeniably, irrefutably, absolutely the true truth. And you will see that one day, no matter what, because there's only one truth, and that is it. Anything else that Wilcox and Gaia on these different channels, History Channel, these are lies to deceive you back into the Saturnalia system. You don't think that they've got every corner pegged to keep you in this box? Because they do. They'll keep you in it as long as they can have you enslaved. But look, if you leave it, let go of all but dogma you've been groomed to believe, indoctrinations and bias, let it all go and go back to nature, ground yourself, meditate, pray, if you have to God or the Holy Spirit, Shekinah glory, Yahuwah, Yahushay, however you want to word it. These are all just different words and titles for new belief systems that are actually only depicting the very same belief system over and over and over again. I kid you not. There's nothing unique about any of these gods. They all symbolize the black sun, the creator. They've divided the personalities of these things and these elements in nature with different gods and different deities. It is all symbolizing the same entities, which are actually in nature as much as the sun above. The moon will do nothing good for you. They've trained people to be distracted by it. Look in the skies. Oh, watch outer space. All this stuff. They don't tell you to gaze barefoot at the sun. They don't tell you there's any power in that. When I know there is, there's information downloaded into your heart, into your eyes, that is esoteric knowledge. The esoteric knowledge which nobody wants to talk about. You can subconsciously create a new divine matrix by me telling you this information. I will cause an awakening. We have more people following this group. I'm not creating a cult. I'm not creating a following for this to be someone's guru or teacher. I'm actually teaching you what I know, what I've experienced. My thought professed then becomes a reality, and so you can see it and do it for yourself and become your own beyond God, your own black sun baby. You are also a future black sun baby of the black sun. You already are. You just are not aware of your own power, who you are. You are like a god with amnesia. Wake up. You're asleep on the other side. The subconscious you is God on the other side, on the flip side. This is the absolute true truth. I've experienced it. I know it. I'm more whole. I'm more complete. I've been healing myself of I had a lump on my neck. It's going away because I've used nature to heal it. Okay? I've reversed cancer, the AIDS, the diabetes, because I have information that I know to tap into Mother Earth. When you feel that connection between your head, that ringing in your ears, that and it's rising, that is your connection to allow in and feel with the black sun, which is you, that magnetic energy that holds all this down. There's another flip side. It's what they always talk about, Shambhala. You can totally reach it if you become selfless, and commit a ego suicide. Become completely divine in love and positive thinking, and it will manifest around you. What you think about others, don't think they can't hear you. Telepathically, we all hear each other in a subconscious sense. So only think good things about people around you. Love them. And you'll raise that ascension, that frequency, vibration together. Okay? With pure, blissful love. And like I said before, these distractions, money, TV, all the wars, the famines, the destruction, the bombs, the terrorist attacks, all these things, they are created by you, the black sun. We are creating what we see. These are illusions. They don't matter, because what only matters at the end of the day is that nature is just. There is no good, bad, good and evil, righteous or holy and wicked and evil. There isn't. Okay? You may think it, but in the end, it's just. Even if someone backstabs you, betrays you, your trust, just let it go. Just keep going. Get through this life. Don't let any of this stuff cause you suffering and pain, anxiety, and depression. It's just going to cause you cancer and other diseases, which you're going to have pain and you have to go through, get on drugs and alcohol, and you're going to have a terrible trip to the other side. You can actually enjoy this. You can be free. Go back to Mother Nature, Earth. That is the rule of thumb, and that is the whole purpose of this experience. That is the whole test, which you developed. You just don't remember. You created all this. Don't get caught up in the web, Saturn's box. You're Jack in the box. Instead of circling the square, instead of squaring squaring this cube, you gotta square the circle, or circle the square. You want the circle to go over the box. You have power. You have the keys. You control it. I control time. I control my own time. I don't have to go to work. I control my own time. They can't control me. I don't care about their money. I live off the land, or I get produce, or I live off the ether, the sun. I don't need their money. I don't need their that stuff. I have a female divine woman. That's my ground. That's how magic works. You need the ground for a kundalini love experience. That's the magic. The electrical, my electrical to the ground electrifies that kundalini connection, which creates life, or the miracle of life, which keeps giving. That's exactly how this whole system works. We're a microcosm of the macrocosm of this system, which makes so much more sense. You have the big black hole that gets wet. There's the wet water around it, which connects to the masculine gamma, or earth, which is the structure, the big rocks, the big mountains, okay? The trees and all of nature, okay? That's the divine masculine. The feminine is the water energy, which creates the air. They're one and the same, because the water and the whirlpool form the air, which creates an ether, an electromagnetic pull, the vacuum down in that hole, which causes this electrical energy, this inertia where it doesn't know where to go, this static energy that builds up. That's what creates, essentially, all this life in the bioplasma that comes out of that black hole as a result of this boom boom energy going up and down. And then this emits this light called the aurora borealis, the northern lights, this green bioplasma that is known to give all life. To scarcity, it brings abundance, it brings chlorophyll, it brings the green. Okay? That comes from the Creator. That's how she created everything. Everything evolved over time. The seeds dropped, the birds came out of this and that. Out of her subconscious, she brought everything into the light through the sun above. Okay? So in a sense, the Bible is trying to tell you a part truth, but mixes it with a bunch of illustrative allegories and motif plagiarized fantasies and fictional stories, fairy tales, okay? Which is fine. In the Gnostic view, it wasn't taken literal. And I think they would be shocked today to know that people take this story literal to the point of going to war or supporting war or dying for this book and its characters. It's really quite scary and frightening, actually. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't offend anybody. It's really a lot of information. It's esoteric, but it's more importantly enoteric. I don't get my information from other people, okay? There's one guy that's on the similar page to me. I just wish that he would stop doing the Hebrew geometria and the numerology. That's all man-made. There's a universal number system from nature, Mother Earth, Gaia, the Black Sun, that everything connects with, and there's no number higher than 9. It goes back to 10 or 1, and it's really that simple. And your alphabet's set up that way, and they use it to enslave you. That's why they don't want you to know the number system that I'm talking about. I've made it pretty much clear as daylight, concise and straight to the point, the most accurate information, and I won't have millions of people in this platform. Not in their Saturn world would they ever support my message. But you know what? I've put a efficacy out there that this will go viral, and it's already starting to grow like crazy. So I already know, smart be it, that all shall know. And all knees will bow to that electromagnetic energy as the black sun rises. It creates the great reset, the great rift, which causes the flood, which fills her hole again, fills this land, this sun, and the electromagnetic energy becomes hotter. It's going to dry off the land of America, and it's going to cause more energy in this pool. Things are going to ascend, and your thoughts are going to become a reality. So if you believe in angels and Jesus and the second coming, you may just create that reality for yourself when you die. So it ultimately ends to the point where, what are your intentions? Because Mother Earth, the electromagnetic dielectric energy, is what's making your heart beat. That thump, thump, thump is coming from the black sun, and that energy is in you subconscious, so you know your intentions. So if you are a bad person, you are a soulless being, an artificial intelligent being, you're not real, then you are just a static illusion that does not exist, only merely here to test your will, to test you, to make you stronger, sharper, more on point, more discerning, and a very highly intelligent being. And it's just like this story with the witch who says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Uses an apple to poison the apple to put Sleeping Beauty into a sleep. See, it wasn't a real apple, it was a poison apple this time. Okay? She's an ugly witch, right? She is Luna looking in the mirror. She's the moon goddess. This is why a lot of those type of people love witchcraft. Which, this is not witchcraft I'm talking about with the black sun. This nature magic is totally different. Okay, because it's real shit. It's alchemical. Okay, it's real magic. And Luna, the witch, put Sleeping Beauty in sleep. That's like the black sun, because she's in the subconscious state. She's beautiful. Lilith is beautiful. Ishtar, beautiful. Fertility. That's what the prince wants. The prince goes after the Sleeping Beauty, not the ugly witch, the Luna, the moon. And he comes from royalty. He leaves his royalty to go for Sleeping Beauty, kisses her, and brings her back to life. That is symbolic of the sun kissing the black sun, or becoming one with the black sun. When they come together, that is what makes the magic happen. When that happens, that is going to be our great reset. This is the open door to Shambhala. Those who are enlightened and ascendant beings will be taken up or into this black porthole that's going to take you to heaven, or Shambhala, the next life. You got to be holy, you got to be righteous. I mean, you got to be a decent person. If you do that much, you will make it, and you will be good enough. And that's it. So while I'm here, that's going to be my message. I intend to bring forth heaven, peace, and serenity on earth. And shall it be, it so will it always be. Smart be it. I will see you on the flip side. I love you so much divinely. I feel it. I visualize it. I allow it. I know it. And I really know it. I recognize and never forget this message. Don't fall asleep to it. If you do, go back to the infinite source. Trust the heart where the home is. Activate the heart. In order to be received, you have to allow that power to guide you. You know what's right. Don't do what's right because of peer pressure. That they'll devalue your worth if you don't. Or authority. You've got to follow the rules or the law. Who told you that? the Saturnalia worshippers, the Saturn guards, the Roman soldiers, the evils that want to take your freedom with laws which are lies, Torah. Take yourself away from these books and these evils, these dogmas, these religions, these man-made words, titles, labels, all meticulously designed and used to enslave your mind. That's what government means. You're not supposed to be working 40 hours a week for 40 years and then get 40% of your check taken away and lose everything you worked hard for. Get all through this life and never get to enjoy it. It's so much more important than that. Don't just allow them to take away your freedom. I pray for you and your family that you would awaken to this message, that you listen to it through, that you check out my efficacies. I want you to check out my videos so that you may be enlightened by them. I want you, most importantly, to go just try to gaze at the sun and walk barefoot in ground. Get connected with earth. Go and hug a tree. Get back to nature. The longer you do this, you live off the land, you sow the seeds, you will reap the harvest, your produce, which will feed your cells, which is the electrical energy that you are needing to actually live a healthy, optimum life in homeostasis. When you do this, your depression and all this suicidal tendencies and bad health, it will diminish. It will disintegrate before you. It'll all disappear. Don't let man and its money and that power control you. It's a false illusion, and it just may take your soul. It may just zap you out into the other matrix, which could be a hell, by which I'm helping God myself create for all those static beings. Because the black sun's going to zap all these buildings, these roads, and all these man-made devices and technology out of existence. Zap, zap, zap-a-roo. And it's going to all be gone. And those who love this world and the money and the things of it will be zapped into that dumping ground, that trash landfill. And forever you will be stuck there because you didn't know her, his name. You didn't know them. You didn't know God, the Creator, which is you. You didn't know yourself. So, God doesn't know you and will not be coming to save you. You will forever, never be remembered. You'll be etched out of existence in the next real matrix when we become one, all one. With your companion, you'll be meshed into oneness, singularity, and experience bliss in heaven where there is no pain, there is joy. It is so beautiful, and yes, I have been and seen it. I know what it's about. It is incredible. I do not have words to describe it other than pick the most favorite moment of your life when you were growing up and imagine the funnest moment. For me, I remember going to Aspen, Colorado and snowboarding, and I had an enthralling experience when I was out in nature and I was free. Just that experience alone was very exciting, and it's going to be like that all the time, 24/7. Because see, we're so enslaved today, we don't even have time to do all the things we want to do in this matrix, which is sad enough. And those who obtain wealth, they may seem like they have all that, but even they get depressed, and it's because they're lost and they have no connection with Mother Earth, Gaia, the Black Sun, Sophia, Aurora Borealis. They're not aware of these things. They can have all the wealth, but as I said before, money is quite possibly the greatest curse of them all. The greatest curse on earth is having a lot of money and power, because you will miss this message, which was the test to experience suffering and pain and not cause suffering and pain. And to those who cause suffering and pain and are not doing as I said, which I wanted us to do, which is the $110 trillion to me, Eric Plott, the Kazweh, Black Sun Baby, the royal elite are aware of my message and they refuse to do this, they will all be zapped out and turned into dogs in this dumping ground landfill cesspool hell which is being created for all their creations they love so much, and it'll all be destroyed. When it's zapped into the other world, the buildings will crumble and fall. They'll be in a desecrated world of pain and suffering and starvation. It'll be a dark, cold, cruel world. And you'll roam around all eternity as dogs, hungering and thirsting like a human that you are, and you'll never evolve to the true final form you were intended to be. You are supposed to metamorphosize into the oneness and transmute into gold, and then eventually platinum with plasma. That's the whole purpose, is to become platinum. So there'll be other goals in the next matrix to obtain, to even get furthermore better and evolve even more and more. There's not going to be any challenges, suffering and pain will be gone, but you'll have great adventures and fun-filled moments in this heavenly bliss where you can only keep getting exponentially, gradually, more and more enhanced and more better. I already know these things. How could I speak of these things if I didn't know these things? You know not because you have not. So with that, I urge you to go and do these things. Gaze and ground. You will feel so fulfilled. You will feel so happy. You will be at bliss before you even make it to the finish line. So go green light. We're almost there. All you have to do is get through. You're doing a great job. If you're listening to this, many blessings of protection, bliss, happiness. May their 5G, their mind hacks, their brain control, brainwashing, their Saturnalia tricks and magic have no power. I dispel it right now. In the name of the Black Sun, Ababola, Ababola, EGP, Kazweh, Magnical powers. Remove all this and dispel these powers. Put a barrier of protection and luck over your family and health, provision, and wealth and fortune for the good of obtaining land and property and fleeing this system, this corruption, coming back to Mother Earth, Gaia. I pray that you would have this divine calling and connection. Everyone who hears this, who sees this information, I wish to wake and awaken you from this conscious demiurge and to go back to the subconscious and then reawaken, rejuvenate, repower yourself with joy, happiness, gentleness, forbearance, abundance, the sovereignty of real peace. A lot of these fake individuals saying they've been to heaven, seen angels and God and all this, these are distractions furthermore to convince you to get back to the church, be a good slave. Oh, what Eric's saying isn't real. What I'm saying is real. You have to take not only the leap of faith and hope, but you have to know it. And to know it, you have to experience it. And I wish to motivate you to change so you will experience the absolute true truth. Remember, I'm not a newbie, beginner to this spiritual thing. I've done my meditation. I've done my spiritual work. And that doesn't require reading man-made books or trying to go to many religious classes and seminars and listen to more man-made, falsified plagiarisms, which are talking about this very thing I'm telling you about. But you are so important. Your story is important. This is your purging, your purgatory, your tale. You're purging your evolutionary process. So don't miss out on it. Or maybe your pain and suffering is intended so that you go through that to wake up to this. We have an ascension coming on, and there's a frequency, and people are elevating. So with that, I give you all those blessings and so much more. May the Black Sun actually come to you so you can see God and see who your true self really absolutely is. I feel that and I know it. I visualize such a beautiful, blissful future. I can correct all the world's problems, and they have one more chance before the Black Sun comes and causes the Great Reset. And is going to have the life stream of Aurora heal the world anyway, and the black sun orbs will just zap out all of this man-made demiurge, which is pure evil and destructive wickedness. And when that happens, it'll all be back to Shambhala, heaven on earth. The heart is where the home is. And when you trash your home, you are undeserving of the blissful heaven that is within your kingdom, your brain, and your heaven. And that requires wisdom to understand, because we are under the dome, which looks like the eye. The black hole looks like the pupil. It goes into the what? It goes to the brain, which is the subconscious, the pineal gland, which is microcosm of the black sun. There you have it. That's why they want you to calcify your pineal gland, because that is the antenna that connects you with the electromagnetic dielectric energy of the black sun. And I can go into how the radiation of the sun works and how lightning bolts come from below as a male-female attraction from the black sun inner earth to the earth gamma masculine back up to the skies to the masculine sun, the air, the feminine. This is the ether. That's the ether connection. And when it builds up, it creates a lightning bolt or static electricity, dielectric magnetic acceleration, and then counter inertia, counter space, mass, inertia, force. Okay? All these things cause a centrifugal magnetic pole that created all this stuff. All this makes a lot more sense than physics and all the science you'll hear. That's why they try to teach you that crap. That we're on a spinning ball globe, spinning 4,000 miles per hour, flying through galaxies, all this other nonsense that does not make sense. Nature, Mother Earth, is very simple. She's a simple gal. It's very lovely how simple the real true story is. You've practically got the entire story right from me. And they made a poetic Shakespearean Bible book allegorically designed to enslave and confuse you, keep you going to work. But when you go back to Mother Earth, if we all did, we would be freed. Their buildings and their Saturnalia churches and infrastructures and skyscrapers would not exist. Does that make sense now? You built their evil kingdom that's about to be destroyed anyway. And that's the whole purpose of this matrix, to understand. Why waste your time building up your own mindless, self-indulged evil and being a soulless, artificial intelligent being? Choose to turn your ignition on and become a soul-filled, activated heart being. A 13th dynasty Merenga tribe, Merenga cryptic kingdom, ultimate truth warrior, thought professor, which is just merely a human beyond God being. That's what you truly are, a black sun baby. Smart be it, in the almighty name of Ababuba. Ababubu. Ababubu. Ababubu.